Hey guys, I'm DJ Mojo and welcome to BTS Network, a group of creatives for the creatives, a platform that allows those behind the scenes and not at the forefront of their industries to share their stories. Hi guys, and welcome back to BTS Network. I am DJ Mojo, and today we are joined by our lovely guest, and I'm going to introduce her. This is our entrepreneur, Desriee. Hi Desriee.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming. So we're just going to ask you a few questions about what you're up to, what you're doing. Yeah. Quick question, because obviously you have a brand called Little Omo, and that is a children's inclusion brand that's based on education and entertainment as well. So what was the inspiration behind starting Little Omo?
So the inspiration behind it was my son. So when I was pregnant with him, that was around 2019, and I gave birth to him in January 2020. So I was actually gifted some flashcards, and basically they had predominantly all white characters in them, and I just thought to myself, as a black mother, how was I going to, you know, gift him these flashcards? I just thought to myself, how was I going to gift my son these flashcards where it just had white characters in them? It didn't make sense being a black mother and bringing a black child into the world. So I basically decided, I didn't tell any friends or family, I created this brand, did the illustrations for the alphabet and parts of the body flashcard set, and literally just said, I'm going to launch it. I was made redundant while I was pregnant, and then after I went on maternity leave, and then basically created this behind the scenes. No one knew. I didn't tell anyone, didn't tell any friends, didn't tell my mum or dad.
Wow.
Isaiah was probably, I don't know, so September, maybe 6 months old, and I didn't know how it was going to go, honestly, you know. So I just thought it was going to be something small, but it turned out to be something more than, you know, I expected at the beginning.
It's amazing now. It's a thriving brand and business. So what challenges have you faced kind of starting this brand?
I think the biggest challenge for me has been working alone. It's been very tough. So obviously I'm a mum to my son. He's 2 years old. I think that's been the biggest challenge. So him growing up when he was a lot younger, when I was starting the brand, it was a little bit easier because I could work through the night, through his nap times and stuff. Now that he's very conscious of, like, you know, mummy's doing this, or, you know, mummy's on her laptop or mummy's on her phone, I'm trying to balance that time out and do work, but also spend time with him, because you can't get those moments back. So it's different for entrepreneurs or CEOs or founders who might not have kids. It's a little bit easier, but my main focus predominantly is making sure that, you know, my son gets the most out of me as his mother, rather than focusing on the business so much, you know, and then he doesn't get my time. So
do you like set a schedule, or do you like...
So I don't really set a schedule. So let's say, for instance, so he's at nursery 3 days a week. So I try to work through those days. Sometimes, obviously, for instance, my book launch is on Tuesday. So I actually planned that around the fact that he's at nursery. So I knew in the morning I can like promote, you know, go on Instagram Live, things like that. And by the time that he gets home, he's got my attention. Rather than doing it on a day that he's not at nursery and he doesn't have my time, and I'm juggling, you know, motherhood, trying to cook, all of that kind of stuff, giving him my attention. So I think it's just about working it around his schedule, basically, rather than mine.
Okay. So I know you from way back, and when you started, you were doing content creation that was based around fashion. How have you kind of evolved from doing fashion content to doing children's education and entertainment?
So obviously I graduated in fashion design, and then I became like a fashion stylist during that time. I would say that the way that it's kind of transitioned is that fashion styling is all, don't want to say perfection, but it's helped me in terms of making sure things look good. So when you're a fashion stylist or you're in the creative industry or fashion, things have to look good. It shouldn't be messy. Whether you're the same way as being a buyer, like you don't want to bring products into the company you're working for that's messy. You want it to be very clean. You want it to look very good and presentable for the brand that you're working with. So I think being a fashion stylist, I think what helped me in terms of the business that I have now, Little Omo, is the fact of making sure that my products are aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and then first, but also number two, making sure that it actually is a product that children can use. Because if you're looking at a product, you want to love it when you look at it. You're not going to buy a product that you don't like. No. So it has to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye first, and then the second reason should be what you're really trying to gauge from your customer. So yeah.
So I've kind of seen that I watched one of your reels when you done a day in the life, but you also took Isaiah to see how your products are made.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to show him what you do?
I think it's important because as he grows, he's able to understand what his mum does. He's able to understand that, maybe his mum doesn't work the normal 9 to 5 that other parents do. It's still a 9 to 5, but it's just a different environment, a different version. So it was important for him to see that, to say, oh look, this is how the puzzles are made, or for him to actually point out and realize this is something that I've seen in our home, but this is where it's actually made. It might not be that he actually understands that what it is or how it's made or anything like that, but just being able to relate it from our home to a factory, but actually putting those two things together. So yeah.
So what other challenges have you faced starting the brand?
I think the other challenges have been trying to, I wouldn't say get people to believe in the brand, but there's certain places that I believe the brand should be in. That if I was maybe at the age of, I don't know, my son's age or something like that, I would love to go to a toy store and see those products on the shelves. So I think that's been a challenge, actually contacting people and actually letting them know why this product should be there, how important it is. I think that's been one challenge. Another challenge has probably been I'm gonna say price point. So for me, I'll tell you why. So the products that I create, a lot of them are handmade. They're all made in the UK. The flashcards are made in the UK. The puzzles are handmade in the UK. A lot of people see the price point as being very high, but you have to think this is an inclusive educational brand for children. There's so many things that you see on the news, in the media, where children are passing away due to the fact of choking hazards, due to the fact of different things like that. It's very important to me that the products that I'm creating are safe for children. So the price you're paying is for your safety of your child and for them to actually learn.
You can put a price on that.
You can't put a price on that. You will get some products and people say my child's choked on plastic. I've had a few people say to me, why aren't your flashcards coated in plastic? If your child eats that, they can choke and they could possibly die, which is a choking hazard, and that will get put on me as a brand, and I wouldn't want that. I'm a mother, so I understand that. And as well as some people say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to buy your product, I'm going to buy from Amazon, that's completely fine. But I just wouldn't want any parent, mother or father or parent or guardian, to ever go through that.
So how important is it for there to be inclusion in things like children's toys and educational games?
So we live in a multicultural world. We don't live in a world that is predominantly white, that is just white people. There are people that are black, white, mixed race, interracial couples that are having children that are mixed race, and I just don't understand. If we can look in the mirror and see how beautiful our eyes are, our nose are, our lips, all of that kind of things, a child should be able to go into a toy store, whether it's your Smiths, your Hamleys, your Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, be able to see a product that looks just like them. It's very important. A child shouldn't go to a store and feel like, I can't find myself, I can't see myself in these products. I can't see my culture, I can't see my tradition. So whether it's they're Muslim, they're Jamaican, you've got ackee and saltfish, they can't see those kind of fruits or meals on their puzzles or in a book. that's a problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of these businesses that are multi-millionaire, billionaire businesses should see that as an issue. You know, they're focusing on products where it's selling all the time, but you should think that we should really be focusing on products where it's going to teach the children of today and the next generation of children, you know, the future generation. Because if these products aren't in these toy stores and everyone wants to say, let's stop racism, let's stop discrimination, it's not going to happen if you don't provide these products. And it's not just for black and brown children, but also for white children as well. Because it's going to teach them as well. It's going to teach them that, you know, my peer in my nursery or my school is black. He's got curly hair. His hair is a bit different to mine, but that's okay. When you rip us apart, same bones, same heart, same everything. It's just the melanin that's a little bit different, that is darker. That's it.
So that's amazing. Where do you see Little Omo in a year's time? She kind of I know it's a hard question, but
one big goal that I do have, because I feel like America is very woke in terms of the kind of products that I have. I feel like retailers in America would be fantastic. Just because I think it will be a great platform for Little Omo. Even though I'm UK based, I just feel that the UK sometimes falls into the trends of things that are happening and then just leaves it aside and doesn't kind of like push forward with it. America is their everyday thing. You know, they're dealing with gun crime, they're dealing with, you know, their children's like racism, all of this kind of thing, things that happen around them. And I just feel like I want to hit a different market. I don't want to keep pushing in the UK where they don't really care, I would say. Don't mean to be mean, but that's just how I feel, you know, going into, it's coming up to 2 years of being in this business, and that's just generally how I feel. I think, you know, growing a team also in a year's time, you know, having a few people on my team, and just more brand awareness. There's brand awareness already, but there's nothing like having more awareness of your business and what you're doing, especially where it's to raise more anti-racist children in this world that we live in, whether they're white, black, Asian or mixed, like I said.
That's incredible. What would you do differently if you were to start Little Omo again?
I would say that I would not stress out about the little things as much, because the things that I stressed out about back in September 2020 or in the year 2020, that year, I'm not stressing about now. So just, obviously being a Christian, I feel like just leaving it in the hands of God and just saying things are going to work out, it's going to be okay. For instance, you know, the event that I had today, you know, the burgers didn't turn up. He basically called me and said, you know, there's been a water spillage, and I was like panicking, calling my friends and saying, you know, what's going to happen? What are the guests going to eat? But eventually I found something. So it's being able to not stress too much and feel like there is going to be a solution in the end. Whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whenever it's going to be, there will be a solution and it's going to be okay.
Okay, well, I guess that's kind of a great way to end. But before we do, is there anything you would like to plug, and where can people find you?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at littleomo_, and also our website, which is www.littleomo.com, and our Twitter is the same as our Instagram, and then Facebook is Little Omo UK. We're also on TikTok at the moment, trying to get on there. Yes, I know. So that's Little Omo_ as well, but I'm sure you'll put all the details below as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed this conversation. I think it's something that needs to be shared with a lot of people. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This has been BTS Network. We are out.
Thank you.
how have you kind of evolved from doing fashion content to doing children's education and entertainment?
Positive vibrations, good vibes all the time, all the way, love. She has a problem communicating what she means.
If I was maybe at the age of, I don't know, my son's age or something like that, I would love to go to a toy store and see those products on the shelves. I wouldn't say get people to believe in the brand, but there's certain places that I believe the brand should be in.
Assumptions might kill her. Why you talking about men not trash? Take time off Twitter. I was hitting from the back.
No one knew. I didn't tell anyone, didn't tell any friends, didn't tell my mum or dad.
Wow.
Isaiah was probably, I don't know, so September, maybe 6 months old, and I didn't know how it was going to go, honestly, you know. So I just thought it was going to be something small, but it turned out to be something more than, you know, I expected.